Today in wrestling, we are talking about AEW budget cuts, WrestleMania 38, Cody Rhodes potentially backing out, and the first look at WrestleMania is kind of underwhelming. But nonetheless, we're going to talk about it. My name is Ango. For more videos like this, go ahead and subscribe. We're trying to hit 50,000 by the summer, and I'd greatly appreciate your support. With that being said, this is the first look to WrestleMania 38. Let's go ahead and blow that up. On Twitter, I'm the boss legit. Posted this tweet at the AT&T Stadium. If you take a look on the left side, you can see the video board. If you take a look in the middle, you can see the Titantron with the stars. Very underwhelming. Now, we obviously don't know at what stage they are in when it comes to designing this stadium set for WrestleMania. But as you know, it is incredibly important that WWE gets it right. And, obviously with WrestleMania, with fans in attendance, there's no BS here in terms of capacity or whatever it may be. This is like the first real WrestleMania back. And between the two nights, obviously WWE is expected to have a large crowd. There's a lot of stuff that is rumored to be happening. You want to make sure the presentation of the show feels as big as possible. Based on this image here, I don't see it, but obviously things can change. Now, with that being said, WWE typically does their WrestleMania stage reveal on a very cool YouTube video, and they do all the cool stuff. I expect a lot of pyro this year, a lot of excitement, and we will be talking about Cody Rhodes in just a little bit. That whole thing is absolutely insane, and it's tiresome, but the first look at Mania, I won't say it's terrible. It's just a little underwhelming. Who knows what's really going down here? All right, guys. So, Nick Khan and WWE have been blamed a lot for budget cuts. This is going to be a fun one, by the way. A lot of people's comments on this one are going to be very interesting. But apparently AEW is, they're not renewing the contract of Marco Stunt due to budget cuts and basically a bloated roster. Fightful Select noted that Stunt received a call from Christopher Daniels last week representing AEW Talent Relations and was informed that the company would not be renewing his contract. It was claimed that Daniels cited budget cuts and a large roster as the reason Stunt's contract is not being renewed. Now we know that this was inevitable. We had been talking about this for a while. But perhaps the talk of WWE and their budget cuts is no longer valid here. As I've said before, rich people continue getting rich because they invest their money properly. They constantly invest their money. And they have to make business decisions. Now, look at it from WWE's perspective. They release you, they give you 90 days to go look for another job. Because they continue paying you for 90 days, right? Now, getting fired from your job is not cool. Getting released from WWE is not cool. Because these guys got money. But also, AEW has money. Tony Khan made sure people knew that he and his father had money. He was very vocal about it. So when you hear of budget cuts, my reaction to this is the same exact reaction that I have to WWE. And that is budget cuts are a lame excuse. They're a lame excuse. You got money. Now, believe it or not, it's a lame excuse, but it is the right excuse. You cannot just give everybody a job and keep paying people to do absolutely nothing. Marco Stunt is not a guy that you put on TV on a weekly basis. He's no longer doing stuff with Jurassic Express. You obviously can't pay him. It's like WWE, though. When you watch WWE, a lot of those people they release are people that aren't being used and people not given an opportunity. To me, it almost looks like the same thing. Yes, it doesn't look as bad for AEW not releasing him in his contract. But by the way, just mind you, so you know, just so everybody's aware here, if Marco Stunt got the call last week, for example, he's not given 90 days to continue getting paid. To go figure it out. He has until whenever his contract ends, which I believe is going to be May of 2022. So I think both scenarios suck. And it's pretty simple. I'm not going to sit here and try to, I think people think that I'm willing to defend one versus the other. I call WWE out on it. I'm calling AEW out on it. I think it's bullshit. I understand why you're doing it. It's part of the business, by the way. Business is business. Go work in the real world, and your boss, there's always some bullshit that comes with it. But that's why I mention this, because it's like everybody's pointing fingers at WWE. To me, this is not better or worse. To me, it's the same shit. That's my point. Budget cuts, I get why they exist. People need to stop acting like these guys who are billionaires are able to just lose money for no reason and spend money for no reason. They got to make smart investments. That's how they get richer. That's how they're going to be successful. All right, guys. 12 days ago, I said we are not talking about Cody Rhodes anymore. I said no more. Now, with Cody Rhodes and his whole situation, what a whole ordeal this has become. Now, Denise Salcedo was doing her prediction show with Dave Meltzer. And Dave Meltzer specifically says that he believes Cody Rhodes will be at WrestleMania, right? This has been the news that everybody has come forward with. Cody Rhodes at WrestleMania, Cody Rhodes at WrestleMania. Well, it is WrestleMania week. There was some sort of information that came out about Shane McMahon being flown into Dallas. The wrestling fans have taken that and said, okay, it's Shane McMahon versus Seth Rollins. Because months and months ago, before the Cody Rhodes thing, it was believed that Seth Rollins was going to go against Shane McMahon. So now there's this rumor of Shane McMahon being flown in. People think that's the match. Now, what adds even more to all of this is that Meltzer says there are people close to Cody Rhodes who think he still may back out of returning, which I don't know how the hell that is possible, by the way, when you sign a contract. But nonetheless, Meltzer says, depending on who it is, it better be somebody good. Everyone expects it, and they have to kind of deliver it, I suppose. If it's not him, it's his choosing. It's not theirs. They believe it is him. They believe that that's the guy. If for whatever reason he backs out because he's going to back out, I don't expect that to happen, but I know people close to him who do, so what the hell? We'll have to see how it plays out. Now, I know WWE has yet to say that Cody Rhodes is joining. Doesn't make this any less worse. If Cody Rhodes is not showing up at WrestleMania, people will seriously have an issue with WWE. You don't go on television and tease the signing of a guy you have not signed, and they've done that. So again, they may have not said Cody Rhodes is showing up, and I get that. That's their way to protect themselves or whatever. And by the way, if Cody Rhodes doesn't actually show up to WrestleMania, there are going to be a lot of angry people. A lot of angry people. A lot of people are not going to be happy about that. I do think Cody Rhodes is showing up. I just can't imagine it not happening. I also believe information leaks out on purpose at times. I think people want you to know certain things. And I think this idea that it could be put out that Cody Rhodes may not show up at WrestleMania might make the moment a lot more special. Hence why you hear the report of Shane McMahon returning. Hence why you hear Cody Rhodes could potentially back out. You know, if you go in with this mentality, if I'm WWE, and I think a lot of people are saying this at this point, have Vince McMahon come out and have Shane McMahon's music hit, have Shane McMahon walk out, but not in his ring gear, have him come out in a suit and then present Cody Rhodes, and that would obviously make it a lot better. What do you guys think? Let me know in the comment section down below. We'll talk more about it. Join in on the convo. Let's talk.